I'm late to class. Jess with super excitement, and Haley, welcome. Hello, good morning. Oh my god, that's so hot. Oh. Good morning, everyone. Ashley's here. Hello and welcome. Are they Belgian waffles? Because I haven't eaten breakfast yet. I'm sure myself, much like you, your sleep schedule is all sorts of messed up right now. Because mine sure is. And it's terrible. Pancakes would be good too, actually. You know what? French toast? Yeah, basically any breakfast meal right now would be fantastic. Harrison, you deliver, right? Because that would be fantastic as well. Ugh, my forehead is overexposed. I do not like this. Pardon my slurping, it's just so hot. Liam's here. Good morning, Liam. I knew it was Liam because I saw Elmo in his thing. They are Belgian. Well then, that's what we want. Grace, good morning. Let's go to Down Detector and see what's going on in the world. Not bad. No delivery. Well, what kind of business are you? I can see Harrison having like a breakfast restaurant or like a brunch nook somewhere. Joseph, welcome. Good morning. I'll take the higher bit rate. Awesome. Nick, good morning. Vinny, welcome to the chat. Or to the class, I should say. How rude of me. So sorry. So who here saw my tweet and is now taking K through 12 weather classes? Anyone? David just woke up. I hear you. It's Mamma Mia opening night tonight. Oh, you know what? Son of a gun. So I got the notification on my computer yesterday that it was tomorrow. And I meant to pull out ABBA to play, and I didn't. I meant to. I wanted to play some ABBA in the background today in honor of opening night. But it was raining outside, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and I just thought even ABBA would be a bit too much right now. The play was postponed, yes. Oh, maybe I'll throw in some ABBA later in the day. Let's see what I got. As we wait another 30 seconds or so, we won't dilly dally too long today. Oh, it's average white band. There you go. All right. Well, we got Super Trooper, and we've got ABBA's greatest hits. So if you want to check in later, yeah, we'll put those aside because I'm probably going to spin those later. Morgan's here. Hello. Good morning. Oh my God. Where's my chair? Okay. All right. So I'm sure some people will trickle in. My goal wasn't to keep it super long today. I started to comb through some of the responses that you guys put in the survey. So thank you for taking that so seriously and doing that so thorough. We're going to move on to a very special show today for you. And if you snuck a peek at Classroom, then you saw what I said already. SOS. All right. Is it on? It's probably on there. Oh my God. Side one, track one, SOS. Heck yeah. Okay. So, we're gonna have an ABBA off here. I'd play it, but YouTube will flag it. So real quick in the chat, and I know it's a little bit behind, or it's it's behind. If you could for me very quickly, if we can just get a super small discussion going here, give me your 1, 2, yes, no. Your most favorite thing about what you saw, your least favorite thing about what you saw, and then yes or no. And remove the bias, but be honest, is their show better than ours? And I know better is a very loose term and is open to interpretation, but there will be no offense here. This is all about reflecting and learning and growing. So 1, 2, yes, no. Something better, something we do better, and then is their show better? Or something you like, something you didn't like. I apologize. Something you like, something you didn't like. I'll pause, sip my coffee. And put on ABBA. Goodbye, Dave Mason. All right, we'll turn it up a little bit, but ABBA's spinning. Okay, let's see what we got here. I like they did a lot of interview parts with members from different clubs. Okay, like the opening. Yeah, the opening, it seemed like people were very adamant either for or against in the responses, which was kind of cool to see. I didn't like how their segments were all the same and boring, and no, they were not. Okay. I didn't like that the segments didn't take place in the studio. Explain that, Jess. You mean because they were like on location in other parts of the building? I liked when they were covering their own football team. Yeah, listen, 3 Sports guys, if you're here, you know, we should definitely have a Raritan Sports section. Go out and start to cover that stuff. I can get you press passes from Coach D, no problem. Segments ran way too long and barely took place on studio. Okay. Didn't like the low energy. Really? I'm surprising. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. No, okay. All right. Yeah, I've got one more after today queued up in the chamber. And the last one I saved for you. So, hold on. Where I lost it. Here we go. We are equally matched. Our opening needs to be updated a little bit. Got to get George Christopher out of there. Sorry, George. Of course I'm playing it, Grace. Like the intro. Okay. They were trying a bit too hard to make it like a professional news show. Interesting comment, Ali. So you guys generally speaking, like a more casual, entertaining demeanor? Really enjoyed the main anchor in the show and her phrasing. All right, very dry. Okay. And I understand that there's always going to be a challenge in watching something for a school that's not yours because it doesn't necessarily pertain to you. I understand that part. And I'm sure with the next one or two it might get a little easier. Um the so the one for today I have some bias towards because I'm going to show you a morning show that came out of my alma mater. Um, and I'm curious what you think. I think it's funny that when I was rewatching the other day and finding these, of course, Lenape Valley, which was the first one I shared with you, I've become not close colleagues. That would be unfair. But like the teacher that runs that department, his name is Mr. Ebson. He is also the freshman class advisor, and he moves up with the kids. So like he and I are like the same person, just in different schools. And we've met once or twice at 10 Day, and I think we met at the Jackson Liberty thing once. So like we'll chat on Twitter or we'll email very rarely, but it was just funny that when I was trying to come up with something to do with you guys, of course I'm like, well, let's see what other schools are doing. Actually, I don't disagree with you. Our audience is, of course, our building. There's a surprising amount of people that want to watch outside of the school, though, like in the community, which I think is great. Um, but does that matter as much? I'm curious. I don't know if it does. Because I think you could be professional and still cater to the 14, 18-year-old demographic. Are they watching our morning show? Lenape Valley? I don't know. Well, there's any good coach will tell you, you always scout and assess talent outside of your team because if you can find something or bring someone on that could help bolster a weakness, you do it. Vinny, keeping it on task. Cocoa Pebbles, highly underrated cereal. Cocoa Krispies are better. Fruity Pebbles are better than Cocoa Krispies, just for the record. Maybe we can become Hazlitt News. Intriguing, Harrison. Go on. Well, if we become Hazlitt High School, then yes, that might be. What just happened? Oh, there we go. Perfect. Let's do a new logo. I'm open to designs. Now, logo, you mean what exactly, Liam? Like the splash screen at the end of the intro? Actually, my friend in California made that for me. He was putzing around with some stuff, and I was like, dude, make me some logos. So he sent me some. All right, not going to lie, that was a good way to get the day started. The RNN logo. Yeah, that intro also needs to go. So if anyone is up to the task, I know it's kind of tough now with the tools, although I did come across something last night in networking with some other media teachers that might allow for some at-home editing. We'll see. I got to investigate a little bit more, do some research. I would love the idea of doing like Hazlitt News as well. That'd be really awesome. But the intros and the logos and all that stuff was made by me when there was a moment in class to actually sit down and make it. And that time doesn't come about as much anymore. So like sometimes in the summer I'll have some free time and I'm able to go, okay, let's take a day or two and try and whip up a new, animated opening for the whole show. Because I feel like it gets stale after a while. And if you track any of the old episodes down and see those intros, they are really, I'm just going to say dated. I don't want to say bad. I'm sure for the time they were good, but they were not great at all. Weekly forecast? Weather forecast. You want to bring weather into my show? Harrison, who do you work for? Come on now. Although the school that you took a look at did have weather in studio with a professional anchor and no clapping. All right, so here's what I want you guys to think about as the next school's show and survey are going to be live, or they should be live now. Try and think. Like I'm going back through year 1, 2, yes, nos. I'm glad that you hit on the looks, the professional looks. So a few of you mentioned that things were slow or boring. Try and hammer down exactly what made them feel that way to you. If it was the content, if it was the presentation, if it was pacing, delivery, like all those things kind of factor into that. And then just, take into consideration that a segment that you go, I have no interest in, so this is boring, might interest other people. As I'm scrubbing through their video now. And of course, it's not working. Thanks, YouTube. Although, you know what? Knock on wood, because the stream's working so far. If any group has ideas for new segments, my group can change things up. Well, that's going to be next week's assignment. So start brainstorming some of that stuff, because we're going to work under some dangerous hypotheticals next week. I would love to have a sideshow. Guys, we to some extent underutilize the space in the studio. I know the sets aren't the most aesthetically pleasing things, and that's as I'm learning, a very slow process to try and learn and change. But I am all for adding more content to our show outside of what we do. There's so much that goes on in and around the school. A lot of it takes place after school. Like, can we get a reporter to the show and do I want to say do a review, like give us a review on that show, live on the rear set? Can we bring in people on the cast and talk to them? Can we get back to doing sports packages of things that took place at Raritan? Like, those would be really cool things to do. No more theater talk. Bring it back, Harrison. What the hell? Listen, I mean, the more segments we have, the easier we make it on ourselves to, believe it or not, actually make better and deeper things. Like, we can go into more depth. It's when we, don't have a lot of content for a show and we're rushing through segments to get on air just so we can bolster up our runtime and have a quality product. When we have lots of stuff that we can shuffle around and bump and move and schedule, then it actually gives the segment people a lot more time to work on things. Celebrity news, TMZ. I think Mrs. Herrick had a student or two that did that last year. I don't remember how well it was received. But that would also be one of those things, Vinny, that would fall under needing a very delicate balance, because I feel like a lot of TMZ is exploiting the downfalls or low moments of like celebrities' careers, and I don't want it to turn into a let's just pile on hate, because I don't like the idea that we're going to air something that is going to conjure up a conversation about how funny it is to laugh at someone's or make fun of or light of someone's misfortunes. So it's doable, but again, needs a delicate touch. Now, I think you can. I think we can take the style, right? Like everyone's kind of sitting around the office, and I would be, oh, what's the guy's name? Is it Harvey something or other? I would just be the guy leaning over the cubicle wall with a water bottle. All right, going like, what do you got? What do you got? I can't think of his name. He was a lawyer. Mm. Impractical Jokers on Rocket News. I kind of like that too, actually. It'd be a hard thing to set up, though. Harvey Levin. All right, that's it. Yep. Levine. Sorry, Harvey Levine. Not Levin. We would need funny people for that. Also, isn't that whole premise based on like no one knows who they are, like when they're interacting? Which I still feel kind of like, how could people not know who they are anymore? Well, Grace, if you want to revisit that idea, like start thinking about some stuff. There's gonna be again, because who knows when we're gonna be back, but um, my simple assignment for you folks next week, just so you know it's coming, is we're gonna make a hypothetical that our show is canceled and needs to be built from the ground up, which means we need all new segments, and you can't take the segment that you had currently and tweak it, and you can't take the segment someone else had in class and also tweak it. It's got to be fresh across the board. But if you want to revisit that, that could be really cool. Harrison, you've been saying student detective since the beginning of the year. You got to let it go, man. You got to let it go. Now, if as a class you wanted to go do something like that, write a script. Give us a pitch. All right, we all know as the year goes on, the like school announcements and stuff start to taper off because clubs wrap up and sports wraps up, and all of a sudden there's not a lot going on. Student Detective was a mini series that was on the morning show years ago when a former teacher took it upon himself to write the script and shoot and edit everything. And so it did a really great job of like creating a 5 episode miniseries that like people were genuinely very interested in and wanted to see the outcome of, and there was teachers involved. It was really, really cool. But it took a lot of manpower to do that. And the teacher, Mr. Sherman, took a lot of that on himself, much to his chagrin, I'm sure. Ate a Breakfast Club. What's Breakfast Club? Hmm. No, we're not going to steal sports from you guys. Hypothetically, in that assignment, you'll have to think of something. But, You guys have been a very strong cornerstone of our show every day, and trust me, that is very much appreciated. Music reviews. We did actually. Tyler Stolp last year did music reviews. They were okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know if like there's a group of gentlemen in that class, and I'm not sure what they make. I thought that was related to it was related to that. Yeah, no, I remember the opening to the Breakfast Club. Well, that was Kelly Marr spearheading pretty much that whole thing. Um, oh, Grace, I so maybe we can play with the format a little bit. It doesn't necessarily need to be a live thing if you wanted to do it pre-produced. And um, I always look at it as okay, if you're going to give a bunch of news stories or content and people go, oh, I know 80% of that. One, they're going to be inclined to listen because they know, believe it or not. Like they want to like tap in to make sure that what they know is correct. But also, if you give them, 20% new stuff, that stuff they didn't know before. I would love to do an intro. That'd be really cool. I think we have the personality to make it unique and fun. Apparently, every school in the moon is using drone shots for their opening. So if we want to do that, we can do that. Could do reaction. I think when that starts to wear thin, it wears thin very hard. In that, uh, if the reaction is not worthwhile or entertaining, then like, why? And I'm just thinking to a lot of the people on the street interviews, it's quick and there's not a lot of I don't know enthusiasm there. Plus, if you're watching a YouTube reaction video, 99 I don't want to say 100%, but they're over exaggerated for the sake of entertainment. So they're not really authentic. So when you're going up to random people asking them to do that, it might not happen. The Office, Rocket News. That idea I've heard floated around too. That would be kind of cool. Liam, so the original, excuse me, the original intro when I first started was a rocket taking off. It was animated by someone in Mr. Berg's uh, like 3D design course. Um, and then when I did another intro, it started with a rocket taking off. No cinnamon challenge. No, we don't want to hurt people. All right. Well, needless to say, this is a good conversation. Start to use this as a back burner. Go, okay, uh, gears are going. We're gonna revisit this maybe a little bit more formally next week. We'll pop on. I'll take some live notes and stuff, and maybe we can kind of flesh out collectively like a doc or something that starts to get some of these ideas down on paper, and then we can talk about logistics and things like that. And just pray that we get back with enough time to be able to implement some of these changes we want to do. So, it's very rare that we get a hiatus like this. So if we can use it to just kind of change the status quo a little bit of what people expect, then that's really good. And that's what A-Day's been doing with their openings. People are looking for the first 2 minutes. MTV Cribs. Love the game show idea. which is part of what Dom and Alexa bring with their segments are a little bit more, they're competitive, but they're lighthearted competitive, and the content itself is meant to be a little bit more humorous than, an actual competition. So the issue there, or at least some of the logistical troubleshooting things we've had in the past, is it requires a lot of people. Like Family Feud, I love Family Feud, but if you want to be true to Family Feud, it takes 10 people and then a host. But I would totally be for finding a way to modify that for our show a little bit, even if we go head to head. Last year we did minute to win it competitions, and it was one person against the clock, and so that became a really cool way to have a bunch of people run through a similar event. They can tape them separately and then have like a leaderboard, and so there was this ongoing competition, and it was really, really cool. So I'm all about that type of stuff too. Baking and cooking would be awesome. Grace and Joey tapped into that a little bit with their tacos, so that could continue. If we wanted to be more authentic to like, hey, here are the ingredients, follow these steps, we're going to make it together, that could be of interest as well. I think that'd be kind of cool. It would just require a lot of prep. Stop spinning. It was 2 years ago for Men in the Win It? Dang. Really? Are you sure? Wow, okay. Gaming reviews also good. I used to have someone do that as well. We just got to be careful on the content, that it can't be like, we can't be like, Doom's coming out tomorrow. We can't show most of that. So but you know me, I do gaming reviews all the time. I love it. I would absolutely love to see that in the show. Plus, a lot of that tends to be then kind of like solo work. So, like, let's just say Harrison's going to do a gaming review. Okay, that doesn't require a team of people. So that again, the smaller the teams we have, the more content we can produce, which is always good. Harrison, review a game. Review Monopoly. Harrison passing the torch on Theater Talk? Well, I guess it's been a while. Did you do one episode this year, Harrison? I feel like you squeaked one out in the beginning of the year. I'm just curious. Stream was updated. Cool. That's what we want. One. Okay. I thought you did one. Yeah. Well, remember, you got another year left here. So if you're in a morning show class and want to take it on, you don't want to have to take it back from somebody. I'm so happy YouTube saves this chat. That's very great. Cool. All right, well, listen, gang. So the assignment posted 20, 30 minutes ago. But as always, face-to-face time or as much as possible. I enjoy it. I miss it. I miss having you guys in class. It'd be funny to think that our show would be long over at this point and we'd be in the middle of block 2. Keep those ideas on the back burner. All right, they're going to come up next week for sure. Rocket News Podcast would also love it. Look, I'm using all my old podcast stuff here. Like, we can look into that if you want to do it. It's got to have serious content, though. So we'll formally say if you want to go and get started on that assignment, it's going to look very similar to the last one, but with a different show, obviously. Because again, if we walk out of this with a small handful of things that we can all agree and go, we can definitely use some improvement here, I think that's valuable. And since we can't make a show yet, then we'll do what we can to improve ourselves until we can get back. And if it turns out that we're going to be gone for an extended period of time, then this will shift a little bit, and we'll try and do some stuff maybe from home. So formally, if you want to head out, by all means head out. I'll be here for a little bit. I know there were some issues with the form last time, so thank you, Ashley and Haley, who reached out and let me know that there was an issue in section 1 that kept looping you back to section 1. That should be rectified this time around. So I apologize, but thank you for letting me know. So I'll hang for a bit, but if you want to go and get started on that, take care of that, by all means, go for it. And today's Thursday. So unless you guys have any issues or questions, good luck with the rest of your work the rest of the week. And I will see you on Monday morning. Oh, their intro is really good, right? Yeah. I don't know if I like the name of the show. It's called Mornings, but their intro is fantastic. Yeah. That's my old high school. You can see. Oh my God, so many memories. I'm watching it now. Sorry. Could I do that? Could I actually punch it up? Could we do that? I don't think I can keep the audio in there though. I don't think they do a daily show like we do. I think they do it periodically. It might be once a week. And if you look behind the desk, those anchors, those glowing, what seem to be glowing pillars, those are Emmys. So, you know, it's pretty cool, right? My old stomping grounds. All right, so I'm going to close the cam. I'll hang here in the chat for a little bit as people are really starting to trickle out now, but we'll see you guys on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Do your best to get away from computer screens, get out of the house, go for a walk. I know the weather sucks today, but stretch your legs, stay fit, stay healthy, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye.